Hello everybody, we are here gathered at the Market of the Dead, because I don't know what else to call all of this. I'm pretty sure it has like an in-game name, and all I know from my current quest is that it is a market. It's definitely a market. And we're gonna talk about how I felt about this patch from right here, right next to the minigame that I still haven't completed, so that I don't forget its location. That's kind of the reason why I'm currently standing over here. So to begin with, it's a filler patch. And it's very, very obvious that it's a filler patch. It doesn't run for that long. You can complete everything that's inside the patch in a day or faster. Really, it's just that they kind of divided up with what is essentially the exact same minigame into groupings of 4, and you unlock like one grouping of 4 every day, so it prolongs a little bit, but there's not that many groupings of 4, so even with them prolonging the patch artificially by making you wait to unlock certain functions, even prolonged, the patch is only like 3 or 4 days long, really, and it's a 24-day patch. It's filler. It's short. It was meant to be filler and short. It kind of reminds me of 1.4 in terms of what is there to do, except that what elevates it above 1.4 is that it is actually relevant to the story, and that the story itself is pleasurable enough to play through, I would say. It has some of Infold's meanderings in it. For example, you start the story by some spirits causing trouble, and then you find their boss, and their boss is possessing this very cute little puppet more than anything else, but as the story progresses, the boss of the spirits drops the puppet because she regains her memories, and the memories that she regains is honestly quite horrifying and are to do with Medell. You get to also, at the very end of the story, delve into this dungeon that kinda explains the whole pathway that Medell walked and how she arrived where she arrived, and I'm gonna have a separate video just on the dungeon because I actually bothered to even translate the soundtrack inside of the dungeon, and it's very, very obvious that they put in a lot of care and detail into that spot specifically, together with honestly the whole story flow, because even though it kind of meanders at the start a little bit, it's not too meandery, it's not too expanded, it doesn't really have parts that it doesn't need to have, is what I'm trying to say. Like, it starts off slightly bit cutesy and meandery, but it progresses past that point fairly fast, and the cutesy and meandery bits kinda also make sense in the grand scheme of things, so it's not the kind of meandering that I'm necessarily angry or too upset to see. Like, the investigation patch, the 1.10, I believe, where you had like this whole murder mystery, I would rank that at like 10 out of 10 meandering. Here it's more like a 3 out of 10 meandering. I can put up with a 3 out of 10 meandering, I think that's perfectly fine. It just elongates the story by just like a tiny smidge, and this time around it's not even that bad. Outside of the story, all you have is really 2 minigames. The one that we're standing in front is one of these. And as you can see, I have completed 2 of these sets of 4 already, and there's one more set of 4 remaining, and it's effectively all the exact same minigame. You have an item that boosts based on the soul thingies around them. Then you have keys for unlocking the slots on your table that you used to play. You have 4 rounds, and you have to spend your points effectively wisely to get the score that you want to get outside of the round. So now if I'm gonna press treat, I get 1 point back. Oh dear. This will be bad. Oh, it's fine. It's fine. I get more than 1 point back. I was about to say, oopsie doopsie, I made a mistake right there, which I think I didn't. This is not a fairly good use of space, by the way. If you want to use triangular pieces with one thing that gets boosted off triangular pieces the best, you kind of want each piece to just like take up this sort of slot and then elongate somewhere else. But we're working with what we got here, and what we currently got ain't a lot because I'm not playing this very well at the moment, which is fine, because if you fail, you can redo it. Redoing it is always an option. And here's the thing about these are not easy for me. I eventually actually do win them, but it does keep me quite engaged. So if I take this piece now, it will touch this one and this one at the same time, which seems like a good idea, you know? A long 2-piece, I don't have many choices right now. The smartest way to use it would be over here, I believe. If I unlock here, I can put in another shell, which will generate me more shells together with the points. So I definitely should. I can put this. I'll finish off with this shell, I think. Can I make you touch more than what you're already touching? I don't think so. Alright, this will have to do, pig. This will have to do. 10 shells and 77 points. I think I can definitely get this to completion. Though probably not outside of it by much. If I move you here, and I unlock extra space, can fit a whole 3 bar. Yippee! Okay, bit of a whoopsie. Yeah, definitely a bit of a whoopsie. I thought I could fit another 3, but I used my keys wrong. That's a very... I don't need that many keys. That's very expensive key-wise. Righty dokie. Can at the very least put this in, which won't be enough. But look at us go! So what I'm trying to say is that these mini games are actually quite engaging, and you don't need a perfect clear for the diamonds. You only need the halfway through clear for the diamonds, which I find it to be incredibly a lot more reasonable. If I go over here and navigate to the right menu, there's another little thing that's a bit interesting, which is you effectively get to do a BuzzFeed quiz on which soul animal are you, but you need to find the pieces in the environment. I should actually change my preset. However, they're easy to track from the menu, so it's not like you can just like get lost. If you wanted to, you can just not track them and try to find them by yourself. And it will be stuff like, wandering through this market filled with the glow of warm lights, you find yourself holding precious invitations from 2 stalls from the Soul Story Club. Which one will you? I imagine the last word is choose. It always cuts off at 2 sentences for me, which makes part of this a bit awkward. Workable, but sort of awkward. A stall where anyone may step on stage and speak any interesting tale from the boneyard will be met with warm applause. A stall hosted by an experienced ferryman. In the dim golden glow, take the role of a listener, drifting and reflecting within the stories. I'll go for the variety of stories rather than one specific person. Tune back in 10 seconds when I finish this to figure out which soul animal I am. Come on, analyze me live. Which soul animal do I have? Look, the threads of fate are woven so wonderfully. I'm so glad to see you again. Well, check it now. Check it. Tell me what I am. I am so ready to reveal my own result. I'm pretty sure that there's like 2 available, because they tend to be marked as like 2 separate things. The answer is more carefree or more structured. This isn't a label to bind you, but a blessing. Remember the moment of anticipation. May your future always be bright and full of infinite possibilities. I am so excited about this, the same way that I'm excited about a BuzzFeed quiz to figure out which banana flavor I am. Let's reveal the answer. Yes, view the result. Oh, I'm a dog! God damn it! Valor. Valors are loyal, reliable pragmatists. Their sprawling forms may seem idle, yet the quiet rhythm runs beneath it all, a constant state of focus and watchfulness. They trust in order and stand firm in what they guard. When peace is disturbed, there is no panic, only composure shaped by long years. A deep sense of duty spreads across every stretch of land within sight. The world is simple, grounded, and shaken, and above all, nothing matters more than the undisturbed sleep of those under their care. Hey, I'm a dog, and I feel like I have unlocked infinite titles. Actually, I'm pretty sure that you can get a lot of different animals here. Because, look, owl, sheep, bird, dog, ember. I feel a lot worse about getting the dog now. God damn it. I'm a dog. Anyway, you get the point. There were 2 mini-games. One minigame was kind of just repeated 4 times through 4 different sort of semi-similar rule sets. And then one minigame was just find a whole bunch of pieces of our BuzzFeed quiz and take it and figure out which spirit animal you are. And I got a dog, so there's that. Honestly, it's all great small fun. This patch would have bothered me if it wasn't a topic that I like. Death in general is a topic that I like. Go figure. Or if it wasn't tied to the main storyline. So, for example, 1.7 was an excellent patch. It didn't really involve characters that you know from the story. Nikki, please stop T-posing at me, thank you. But it was an excellent patch because I really resonated with its theme. This is both thematically interesting to me and it's relevant to the story because you get a bit of closure between Medell and McGill. You get more information about Medell's sense of being and who she was as a person, how she arrived where she arrived. You get to meet her teacher. I want this to, for the most part, be a new standard. And by that, I mean, you don't need every single story to relate directly to the main storyline, but I would like us to see returning cast of characters, and I would like the patches that we experience be somewhat relevant to the story that we did. You can throw in a festival or two. You can throw in like 3 or 4 festivals in a 10 or 11 patch cycle. That's fine. It's a lot of festivals, but still, we can live with it. But every single patch cannot be a festival, and every single patch can't be disconnected from the main storyline, which was kinda how they did things in 1.x, and I honestly did not enjoy that. And they have done a very similar thing between 2.0 and 2.5, where patches 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, and 2.4 weren't really tied to the main story. There were some semblance of storylines that are interesting and important for their own reasons, but not really tied to the main story. The fact that we got a 2.0 and then 2.5 continuation of the main story, which looks like it will finish itself in 2.8, so 3 main story patches outside of 1.0 and 1.1, how we had in Wishfield Saga, is already an improvement. But the fact that we're also getting a soft side story continuation, a bit of closure in 2.6 to the 2.5 story saga, I think that's a good thing, and I do want them to sprinkle in similar stories going forward. So I'm not saying that this is like the only thing that they should do, but I'm saying that I'm glad that they're doing it. However, with a little bit of meandering, and the fact that this patch is rather dry, and the fact that you saw both minigames, congratulations, outside of the story, you have now experienced everything that there is in this patch, pretty much. Considering all of that, I will say that this patch lands at about a B. Like, it's not the patch of all time. But it's also not a really bad patch. I think so far in the whole of Ixalan Saga, the worst patch for me was 2.1. It was just really not engaging, and hey, I'll take a dry patch with a few mini games over run 3 stores for me, run a hot pot, or raise a behemoth. Those felt like fairly unfitting time fillers, and because they felt like fairly unfitting time fillers, I didn't enjoy them. So I'd rather we had a dry patch that is a filler patch rather than a dry patch that's a filler patch where you also need to do a mediocre minigame that this whole game is not set up for. So overall, it's okay. It will do, pig. It will do. Thank you for watching. How is the patch treating you? Are you enjoying it? I can't wait to stream through it all with you guys sometime during this patch cycle. Probably next week, probably. Plans do change sometimes. Because the story is kind of engaging, and I wanna show it to you, and there will be a separate video where I'm gonna be talking about the dungeon in particular, because it's that particular place that really stuck with me, so I'm glad that we have that in the game. But yeah, those are my opinions. I can't wait to hear your opinions on the patch in the comments section down below. Thank you so much for my Patreon supporters. And hopefully, I get to see you in my other videos. Trust me, during this patch cycle, we're gonna be drowning in Infinity Nikki content. I have a lot of things to talk about. A lot of these got released during the 2.5 patch cycle, but I was a bit busy in May, so I'm a bit catching up right now, you could say. So there will be a lot of Infinity Nikki videos this patch cycle in particular. So, yeah, hopefully I'll see you there. Toodaloo.